Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. We are here. This is Matt the Southern Gooner. We are back from the shadows. We're here. We are here. We are here. We are here. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone's in the states are enjoying their holidays, and hope everyone across abroad enjoyed tonight's football. We had quite a few games tonight, and had a couple of outrageous scores I saw while I was out on my way home. I saw a couple of scores that kind of rose to my eyebrow there, and I did happen to catch the end of the Newcastle and Marseille game, which Aubameyang scored in twice. I caught a little bit of that there towards the end. So we're here. We are here, as you see. Tonight's discussion. Hope everyone is doing well. Tonight's discussion is Arsenal math. And I know everybody looked at that and was kind of like, what is he talking about here? What is Matt talking about here with this Arsenal math? Well, there's a couple of reasons why I wanted to title that. Arsenal math is something that I've said, with my friends or whatever. And so I said, you know what, that'd be a great topic of discussion. So I think I'm going to use that. I think I'm going to use that going forward for the rest of the year as well. um, First things first, man. I think where we are right now, considering where we all thought we would be this time going into the season, I think uh, you've got to, as an Arsenal fan, you've got to feel good uh, where we are right now. I mean, there's no debating it. Um, it's refreshing to see us get through a couple of difficult fixtures here, and to especially with some of the adversity that we've had early this year, uh, injuries, what have you. Not that that's an excuse, but you still have to navigate that as a player and as a coach. And then you we've done something this year that we hadn't normally done, which is showed a little bit of a bounce back ability, if you will. You go back to the Sunderland game, and we were able to come back from the Sunderland game and get things in order, even when we came off of the city loss. And a lot of stuff we'll revisit uh, tonight. Um, but I mean, we've gotten to a point now where people are starting to kind of sell into the season. People are starting to look ahead. I'm starting to look ahead. Uh, Major fixture tomorrow. I've heard a lot of people say it's really not that big of a match tomorrow night, but for me, it is. I think going into the Bayern Munich match, and this is just me. Even as a coach, I used to always look at the fixtures, and I would make a determination on where I would like my team to be, uh, and I would like my team to be at a certain place, and I would have liked to have played certain competition. And when I say certain competition, I'm talking about you need to be tested. Uh, we played Athletic earlier this year in the Champions League. We did well in that. But when we drew Byron, I always, and shout out DJB and everybody in the chat, but DJB knows this. I talk to him, and I would always bring up Bayern Munich, Bayern Munich, Bayern Munich, Bayern Munich, uh, who was actually my pick to win the Champions League. And so when we drew Byron, I said, okay, well, this will tell me a lot about the psyche of this team. And I think for me, one of the major things uh, that we struggle with is getting over certain hurdles. Uh, there's certain teams, yeah, we beat Real Madrid, but there's certain teams that we have just had absolute horrific trouble with, and Bayern Munich is one of these teams. Um, I think that going into this match tomorrow, I'm seeing people saying they want to draw. Not for me. We need to be getting 3 points. We need a win for the psyche of this team. See, when you go and get a win against a team like Bayern, who is clicking on all cylinders, that would in turn then propel you for the game on Saturday, which will not be easy, by the way. We all saw what Chelsea did tonight and against who they did it against. So, you know, they're sitting right behind us at the table. They've got a little bit of momentum. We need to go into tomorrow's match, get a win, find a way to win, carry that over into the weekend. What you don't want to have is a flat out loss tomorrow, lay an egg, and then you got to bounce back again and then go for Chelsea. And if you don't win that now, we're having a bunch of different discussions. I just think that we need to get over this mental hurdle of Bayern Munich. I mean, we all remember a couple of years ago. For us, that's a little older. We all remember a few years back. We all remember the drubbings that we've had up under Wenger. And for me, I just feel like we need to get that monkey off our back. You know, we just got to get it off our back. So going into that game tomorrow, I would like to see us win. I can't tell you how I think the manager is set up. I feel like he's going to go strong because he's just that way. I just feel like he's going to go strong, which I'm fine with that personally. I think what's going to have to happen is once we get past the Chelsea game, he's going to have to really start looking at rotating consistently and considerably because we've got a lot of fixtures coming down the pipe. And so I think that tomorrow, let's just get through this and let's get through Chelsea, and then we'll see where we at. And we've got players coming back, and then we can see where those players can slot in that and provide relief for players that have put in a lot of work because some of these players have ran through the mud as of late. Let's go to the comment section right quick before we keep rolling. Let's go. Aces, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're doing well. JB, I see you there, brother. I see you. I was just listening to your message before I went on, so I got your message, brother. We'll chat. Prom, what's up, brother? Hope you're doing well. Igor says, now as soon as I start streaming, everybody want to call. Nobody called me all day. Now everybody wants to call. He says, relax, take it easy. Hello from Montenegro. Shout out to my brother. Jaeger says, we are top of the league. Say we are top of the league. That's right, brother. We are right there, man. We are right there, my friend. Arsenal meth. Nah. What's going on, Abby? Good day, Maddie. Cheers, brother. Let's see here. Who's gonna run this time tonight? We're gonna run this time. Hey, yep. We are, brother. We're gonna run it. I don't think we beat Bayern, but I think it'll be a draw. We owe them a 5-1 beat. We absolutely do, bro. We absolutely do. We absolutely owe them a big one. Oliver says, yes, Maddie, hope you're good. Hanging in there, brother. Doing well. I kind of scrolled through here. And then we'll see what we got here. Yeah, I see. All right. Yeah, Bayern ain't no mugs. You're right. Bayern ain't no mugs. All right. So make sure you hit that like button as you come in. Like, share, and subscribe. Let everybody know what's going on. And let's get down to it, y'all. Let's get down to it. So let's pull up let's pull this up here. Let me get this line up here. Let's pull this up here. Let's get this table up. Everybody let me know you can see that well. Put a 1 in the chat if you see that well. Warren, what's up, brother? Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you are doing well, my friend. Much love. Sending a big hug across the pond to you, my friend. Hope you're doing well, brother. Hope you are doing well, brother. All right, let's get down to business. Here. So this is where we are in the table. We've played 12 matches here. 9 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss. We're looking good on the offensive side. We're looking pretty good on the defensive side of the ball. 29 points in pretty good standing. And then you look down at Chelsea. Chelsea is 6 points behind. As of right now, City is 7 points. Aston Villa is 8 points off, and then from there it kind of goes. We see it here as stated. So when you look at this on the surface, you look at this, and as most Arsenal fans will look at this and go, we're way ahead of everybody else, and we're in a commanding position. I've always said I like operating from a position in front. Therefore, you can almost determine where you need to go versus trying to hope that someone else has a mishap. But when you look at this table, it's quite deceiving. And this is why I call this Arsenal math. You look at this in the math, and the math shows you that, hey, it looks like odds are we're probably right on top to win this thing. And so you've got people across the internets, across the world wide webs, and you've got people going, well, if we beat this team, we beat that team, then yeah, this is it. You've got people going on panels. You've seen in the last few days, you've seen people going on saying this is it. There's no threats. There's no threats at all. But there's quite a few different things we need to look at here when we look at this season. There's quite a few things that we need to look at this season. Let me see if I can pull up the fixtures here. See if I can pull up the fixtures here. Let's see. These are the upcoming matches. I want the full. But we'll take what we got here. We'll take what we got for right now. I'll tell you what. Hold on. Y'all bear with me here. I want the full fixtures right quick. Let me pull these up right quick. Y'all just bear with me here. But we look at this. We look at this table, and a lot of people are kind of like lulled to sleep. I'd almost say it's like you've been blue pilled. I'd almost say that's exactly what's happened. People have been lulled to sleep because you look at that table, and that table shows that we're in front, and so people immediately think, "Oh well, this is it. There's nobody catching them. There's nobody catching Arsenal this year." And so you'll be fooled into thinking that all is well. Well, we're going to show y'all something in just a second here, because these are things that I always tell people you have to step back, look at everything from 3,000 feet and look down, because then you can clearly see what's going on. All right, let's get this up here. Let's get this up here. Bang. Bang, bang, bang. Let me see. That's almost what I wanted to get here. Let's do this. Let me see. Where are my fixtures? I need my home and away, because that's the way I want it. Home and away fixtures. I keep getting there. I want the away fixtures. Away fixtures. That's what I want. Let's see if we got one here. All right. I think this is okay. All right, we'll do it this way. We'll make this work, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all work with me. We'll make this work. We'll make this work right here. All right. Location. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Bang. Ta-da. Here we go. This is what I want you to see. This is what the brother wants you all to see. I'm coming with the facts. Y'all know I'm going to bring this to you all, represent it like nobody else has brought it to y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, we have had a lot of home fixtures the first bit of this season. That has worked well for us in our favor. But then, and I hate they don't show all of the past fixtures on here as well. Actually, they do. We can just go to results and we'll slide back over to that. You look over here. What's that right there? Where did we play that game at, ladies and gentlemen? Where did we play this game at? The Stadium of Light. When you look at the fixtures that we've had, we was there, we won there, we won there. But when you look at the majority of these fixtures, outside of a few of them, where have they been at? Where have they been at? Great win here, by the way. Most have been home most of this season. Most of them. But there are pockets. You know what? For all my teachers in the chat, I used to work in the educational system many moons ago. On your when you're talking to your parents and you see a problem, you put on that areas of concern. Handling being on the road. We've got to start getting ready here, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm gonna go back a little bit. We're going to start getting into some difficult areas to play in. Very, very, very difficult places to play in. Yeah, so what's up, my brother? Hope you're doing well, my friend. Big win tonight from you all. Big win tonight from you all. It'll be a great game this weekend. We're getting ready to go to Stamford Bridge against a Chelsea team that's in form. They are in form. And if I can find it, let me see it. Leave it over here. Yep, I did. I did. We'll deal with Chelsea in a little bit here. We're going to deal with Chelsea tonight. We're going to deal with Chelsea. And if I don't get to it, somebody just put it in there. Don't forget about Chelsea, and I'll make sure I won't forget about it. But we're going to deal with Chelsea a little bit later on, because there's a problem there. A lot of people. This is what I tell people. I'm a student of history. I love going back and looking at history. A lot of people will tell you, well, you can't. I know you're basing stuff off of past this or past that. Well, a lot of times, if you look at your history, and if you understand the fact that you can always look at the reference of history, you can always use history to right wrongs and to fix issues before they get started. And I think a lot of our fan base, the dopamine of success and feeling good, it erases all logic. And so what happens is you tend to, when situations pop up, you really don't like, where did this come from? But if you go look back in history, you realize that you've done it before. You've seen it. So when you look at this right here, this is go back to what I was saying. When you look at this right here, you see we've got some massive games coming up here. And don't let anyone tell you right now a draw will do. There's no drawing in this game right here. This game coming up this weekend has to be a win. Because if Chelsea ends up getting 3 points, let's go back here. That puts them how many points behind us, chat? Just drop it in the chat. You know how we work. We like to get everybody involved here. How many points if we drop this game to Chelsea and Chelsea wins? How many points does that put Chelsea behind us? How many points? Drop it in the chat. Everybody, drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. Just put it in there. Go to over to your number. Just boom, put it in there. How many points does that put them behind us? Because what people have got to realize is that it doesn't take much to get everybody else involved. Everybody else that's on this side of the equation here. It does not take much to get everybody involved. You know, you ever been to a party? You ever been to a party and you arrive a little early and you and the host, y'all are just having a good time, chatting it up, great conversation, just enjoying yourselves. You probably help putting decorations out or whatever you're doing. And then next thing you know, it starts getting a little crowded. It starts getting a little hot in the house. And before you know it, you look around and it's crowded. And this is where we are right now. Yes, we're the first ones at that. We're the very first ones. We're the very first ones at the party. We're there. We're early. We're there. You see what you see you're hoping to get the food soon as it hit the table because you know it's fresh. Everybody else is coming is a little bit late. And this is where we are. So you go back to that Chelsea game, ladies and gentlemen. We'll go back to that Chelsea game. We'll go back to that Chelsea game. That's right. Right. My people's got it. We got it. We got it. And then you say, okay, well, if we drop points there, they're 3 points behind. All right. And this is just their way. We'll do all right quick. We'll do all. So then let's say we drop that game, and then the following week, guess what? We've got to come back midweek game against Brentford, who, by the way, has an informed striker. Nobody's talking about Brentford striker being on form. He's on form, which they pose another problem. So this makes that if you drop points here, this is going to definitely make this another must-win scenario. So then you say, okay, well, cool. 3 days later, what do you have? Oh, well, let me help y'all out right quick. Let me show you something here. Bear with me here. You know, I like to bring these facts and show y'all. Here it comes. Bang. Y'all bear with me here. Close that out right there. Close that. There we go. Pull up my other screen here. Make sure I can see myself. Bang. Can everybody see this? Can everybody see this right here? Who is this? Who is this? In the form table, who is this right here? Who is this? Oh, that's Aston Villa. That's Aston Villa. What manager in the Premier League that's currently in the Premier League gives our manager the most problem outside of Pep? Who gives him the most problem, even if we do win? What manager gives this manager of ours, brother Tedder, who gives him the most trouble and fits? Oh, it's Unai Emery. He is the scourge of this manager. Him and Eddie Howe. And we caught Newcastle at the right time. They're having a little bit of defensive issues, and we caught them at the right time. But when you look at this, you see that we've got Aston Villa and Chelsea almost right in line with each other. It's literally nothing. We lose, and Chelsea's suddenly 3 points behind, and City could be four behind. We need to stay level headed. This is a fact. This is a fact. Let's go back up here. Let's go back up here. Let's go back to this game because I want people to understand here. There's something here. DJB has mentioned this on a panel, but I think it went so far with people's head that they didn't hear it. I don't think people heard what was said. But we're going to visually show people because as several of you all have stated here in the chat tonight, people were saying, oh, well, we're going to just go ahead. It's ours to lose. And, the title is over. But you're going to find out in just a second that it doesn't take much for this to swing. All right, so we've looked at Brentford and Arsenal. On paper, you would say this possibly a win on paper. This is just on paper. This is what we hope, And we go to Aston Villa. This is an extremely tricky fixture. Club Brugge, they're no mugs. The same, they've given some teams some trouble in the Champions League. Then we got Wolves, who people will look at this and go, oh, well, it's Wolves. We should beat Wolves. But you know what the problem is with these teams like this? They're fighting for survival. So that means they're probably going to show up to play. We should beat them on paper. Remains to be seen. We'll see. Oh, who is this? Who is this right here we're getting ready to play? Where are we playing them at? Oh, in the new stadium. In the new stadium. Oh, you don't think they want to break the champagne on the wall with a victory over Arsenal in the new stadium? They seem to be. It's funny because I had this discussion with Lee. I was up with Lee late last night with Lee. And we were sitting around talking. And I said, have you noticed how comfortable Everton is at home in their new stadium? Because we were talking about how weird it was when we moved into the Emirates coming out of Highbury. And I said it was just so strange there for the first 3 years, getting used to new surroundings. But Everton is like gotten used to it. Like it's like just show up. Just come on. They come on in. Housewarming party. Now they beat Manchester. We all saw what happened yesterday. Gay slaps his own teammate, red card. They score and defend for 85 plus minutes and get a win at Old Trafford. So when I say they're going to be defensively stout, they're going to be defensively stout. So this game is definitely not a gimme. This is not a gimme. 3 days later. Oh, we've got Palace again. They're on form. Oh, they're on the form table. Where are they at? Where are they at? Oh, they're right there. They're right there. Number 5 in the form table. These are matches, I keep telling you all, these are matches that pose a problem. These are matches that will allow everyone else, if we drop points, it allows everyone else to come to the dance. Everyone else will come to the party. Everybody's going to bring a covered dish. Y'all know them parties when y'all out. And they say, Can you bring a covered dish? They say, can you bring a covered dish? Bring the water. And people just start showing up. Then at some point, you ever been to the parties where you have people showing up and they say, well, who the hell is this? Who invited him? Who is he with? That's what happens here. We start dropping points. Everybody else is gonna find a way to the dance. Everyone else. Because a lot of these teams are really 6 points away from getting back in this thing. 6 points away. And what happened, see, this is the thing with Arsenal fans. This is what we'll do. See how we operate. We'll look at the team and totally discredit the team and say, oh, they're not doing anything. You'll look up and see Brighton might be fourth, and it's, Brighton's not winning anything. Oh, man, Aston Villa's not winning anything. The only time Arsenal fans will start sweating is if you see Man City. I'm the opposite way. I look at everybody else because those other teams are that when I see other teams up there, those are problem areas. Because City, we could very well beat City, and we could go through City. We could beat Chelsea. We could might even be Aston Villa. But everybody else will give you trouble. 3 points here, 3 points there, 3 points here, 3 points there. Guess what? Everybody else is back to the dance. That's why I keep telling you all. Way too early. Way too early. That's Brighton. Oh, after Christmas? Who's there? Brighton. Oh, where's Brighton? Oh, they're 6th in the table. They're 7th in the form table. This is why I keep telling everybody. Don't get too far ahead of yourselves. Lot of tread on the tires. Long way to go. We've got a long way to go. Villa, Brighton, Bournemouth the way of the points we drop. This is what I'm saying, JB. These are problem areas. These are areas of concern. Areas of concern. Seymour, what's going on, brother? Hope you're doing well, my friend. Aston Villa twice in December. Twice. We're back home on this one. You know what else is not being discussed about all of this? You know what's not being discussed? Look at these fixtures. 3, 6, 4 days later, 3 days later, 7 days later, 3 days later, 4 days later. Look at this. There's a lot of football being played between now and the end of the year. Injuries, fatigue. The question now becomes, how is this manager going to rotate, keep players healthy, players that's in form? Does he gamble to keep them there even though they may need a rest? What happens when players come back? Do players that are playing well in one position sacrifice because the player's coming back? Does that player, how is the manager going to function with this? This is uncharted territory with Brother Tedder. Why are you saying that, man? I'm saying that because the manager has never really had the luxury of having a full bloated squad to rotate. And now he has to learn. Remember, I've always said this about Arteta, because every year there's something new he has to learn because he's learning on the job. This is something new he has to deal with. Squad rotation. Because we've got capable players now in this team. So he's got to figure out how to rotate this squad during all of this. Y'all hear all these numbers? We'll go back through them again. 3 here, 7 there, 3 there, 7 here. We're back to 3 again, and 4 days later. This is why I've gone on record and said we don't need to be talking about a title until the end of February going into March. We don't even want to talk. We don't even need to be talking about titles and winning league titles and Champions Leagues and all that stuff. You know what needs to be talked about? You know what word, ladies and gentlemen, needs to be said during all of this? You want to hear what the word is? If you want to hear what the word is, put a 1 in the chat. Drop a 1 in the chat, and I'll tell you the word. If you want the word that you need to be hearing, that needs to be brought up every time Arsenal's being talked about, put a 1 in the chat. I'll tell you. I want to see the ones. Put the ones in the chat. Just drop a 1 in there for a brother. Let a brother get a 1. Now drop it in there, and I'll tell y'all. Drop a 1. Y'all load them up. Let's go. Load them up. Brother Tech, hope you're doing well, my brother. Happy birthday again, my friend. Happy birthday. Hope you enjoyed yourself, my friend. Hope you enjoyed yourself. There we go. Get these 1s in here. Get these 1s. Load them up. Load it up. Hey, look at this. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. You ready? The word that needs to be discussed with this team right now in its current form is consistency. Consistency is the only thing that needs to be discussed when it comes to Arsenal Football Club right now. And that is remaining consistent, doing what we're doing. You're winning the game here. You keep you're staying healthy. You're moving on to the next game. You win a game here. You're staying healthy. You're staying consistent. You're moving on to the next game. We don't need to be hearing what the pundits are saying. The pundits are saying Arsenal is this and it's Arsenal's to lose and it's all this and this and the third. No, block it out. You don't even need to hear it. There's no discussion of it. And if Arteta has learned anything, he's telling them we're not even talking about it. We're not even discussing. Cut the news off. Shut your phones off. Block everything. Block it out. No title is being won in November. No title. I'm telling you now, no title is being won in November. Now, the only thing about it is you can blow a title. You can blow it, but to win it, the thing about Premier League titles is when they say we hear it all the time. It's a literal marathon. And anyone that's watched, especially long distance running, like in the Olympics, you watch it. They don't just come out of the gate 100 miles per hour. They come out, they set the pace, and then they maintain a level of pace, exert a little bit more energy, and then they move forward. And then guess what they do? Calm themselves down, exert a little bit of energy, and then they move forward until the final stretch. You never see a marathon racer come out the gate 100 miles per hour trying to beat everybody. You never see it. And this is what I hope we have learned, especially after the year we bloated. And we're going to get to, in a little bit here, we're going to get into some facts, some hard, cold facts that people don't want to face, but you're going to have to face these facts tonight. Let's get back over here to this, y'all. Let's get back over here to this. Aston Villa. A couple of days later, what you got? Bournemouth, right there. Bournemouth's there. That is what? 4 days? 4 days later, the third. Bournemouth's there. 5 days later, what do you have? Who is that? 5 days later. Salah won't be in the team, and you'll have top gooners tell you, oh, Salah's not going to be there. He's going to be at AFCON. Yeah, but they'll be able to actually put out a potent offense. They don't have to play through them. I've told Brother Kenny on the phone plenty of times. I've told him, I've said, hey, man, once Salah's out this team, they'll get it together because they don't have to play through him. This right here, you see this? These are tough fixtures. This is why I said what I said a few minutes ago. Consistency right now is key. Consistency is key. We have got to stay consistent. You go through January. That's Forest. Oh, that's not going to be the same Forest we played early this year, by the way. Just want to let y'all know that. Won't be the same Forest. And look at that. Look at that right there. 3 days. You see all this? Do people see these fixtures? Nobody's talking about this. Everybody's going on. Oh man, we're gonna cruise through this. We're gonna ride. You know, it's done. People say, soon as if we beat Chelsea, that's it. We win the league. I've heard that more in the last 3 days. Oh, it's 7 points here, 9 points here, 8 points there. No, there's no way. There's no way that we could blow. There's no way. Look at all of this. We'll do those numbers again. This is why I said Arsenal map. Let's do numbers again. Look at this. Look at this again. Look at this. We'll start right. Look at this. Look at it. 3, 6, 10. Look at this. Look at the days. Look at the days. Look at the days. Look at the numbers. Look at them. Look at all of these fixtures. Rapid, fast, right there. Thick, fast, there. Thick and fast, right there. Right there. Footy, what's up, brother? Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Much love, much love, much love, everybody. Much love. Inter Milan. Regardless of what, it's still Inter Milan. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen, where are we going? Away. We're going away to the San Siro. So when you hear the expression one game at a time, it absolutely applies to this season. It absolutely applies. One game at a time. You cannot discount any competition that we have coming forward. Every team. Me, JB sat all summer on panels, and we said over and over and over, every game is a cup final. We have to play the people, when we watched that game Sunday, you could see the atmosphere. You could see how big the game meant. You could see everything. This is why I said we need to roll the tifo out every game. Every game, the tifo need to come out. Fireworks need to come out. The crowd need to be electric like it was, because every game has to have that atmosphere. We have to have that same intensity that we play with against Spurs on Sunday with every team we play, regardless of where that team is in the table. Which I keep saying, we've got to have consistency. It's all good and well with where we are in the table, but we've got to find a way to be consistent this year. We've got to maintain health. We've got to get players rested, play players that need to get some time in. Because, see, there's going to come a point here. There's going to come a point during this period. I can't tell you when. I can't predict it. But I'm going to tell you there's going to come a point where you're going to have to call on some of these players that's been sitting on the bench. And if these players are coming in cold, you know, especially in major areas like midfield or going forward, defensively, I think we've got enough at the back to where if someone comes out, we can kind of plug and play at the back. Saliba can take care, and Cappy can take care. You know, I think that's not a problem. It's this midfield and going forward that's going to be the problem. You've got Havertz on the way back. You've got You've got Matt Wakey who's back. You've got Jesus supposed to be coming back. You've got Odegaard. So what is he gonna do here? How are these players gonna get the timing and get back up to speed? I think I read something this morning that they're gonna be playing some closed door fixtures. And I would have to say to myself, I'm hoping that the starters are not playing closed door fixtures. Because we don't need anybody getting hurt in closed door fixtures outside of letting these play. This is why I don't for me, this is, ladies and gentlemen, this is just me. I don't understand why we are not sending some of these senior players who have been out for a while, like Jesus, Odegaard, who else am I missing? Havertz. I feel like I'm missing somebody else. Why don't these players go to the U21s, train, get back up to speed? It's not too hard on their bodies, and they can kind of get back in the rhythm, because we got to get these guys back in rhythm. Because when they're called on in this period, right here, all of this right here, we don't need someone coming in. They're not used to playing. Hadn't got back, getting sorted out. And then they're fumbling here. Because see what happens, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go back to those numbers again. That's why I keep telling y'all. This is why I call this Arsenal Man. We go back to these numbers. And if we start dropping points, every game becomes critical, because everyone showed up with their potluck to the dance. Everyone here showed up. You see this? This is almost a 6-point swing across the board. 6-point swing across the board. Even though Manchester United, Spurs, Liverpool, everybody looks destitute. Look at this. 6 points and 9 points, and guess what they at? If we drop 3 or 4 points, guess what? We right. Everybody's right there within touching distance. So this is why I said it's a long way. A very, very long way from being done. Soon as we get through with Inter Milan, 5 days later, what do we have? Who is that? We don't even know if the same manager is going to be there at United by that time. But what have we noticed about playing Manchester United? We've had a lot of trouble. Even if we beat them, we've had a lot of trouble with Manchester United. Regardless of how they look, we have a lot of problems with this team. A lot of problems. Even into the first of the year. Do you see this? Even into the first of the year, there's the 25th, 28th, 31st. We don't actually start to slow down a tad with these fixtures until we get to February a little bit. So you're telling, so I want people to understand. Let's soak this in. We'll go big on this. You're telling me, ladies and gentlemen, you're telling me that from November, I'll give y'all the correct date. Y'all ride with me. If you got pencil and paper, get your pen out, get your paper, and write this down. You're telling me from as of today, going into tomorrow, which will be the 26th of November. The 26th of November up until February 7th. Most fixtures are 3 to 4 days, maybe 7 days apart from each other. Up until the end. And we're talking about winning. People are talking about title being won and trophies and all that right now. This is why I said, don't even talk to me about even talking about a title. And I'll come back out of this right quick. Let me come back out. We'll go. When we get to the end of February, this is why I said, people think he's just saying stuff to say stuff. No, I mean what I say. I'm serious about it. Once we get through February, then we can start right around here. We can start talking about a title then. We can start talking about it and see where we at. You can start kind of having a discussion about it. because we'll actually see. We've actually had quite a bulk of the schedule out the way. But as I stated earlier, a lot of stuff is going to happen because we're going to be on the road. It's Ellen Road. It's not an easy place to go. We've been on the road a lot the next half of the season. Does anybody remember the stream I did when the schedule came out? Does anybody remember that? Does anybody remember when I did the schedule release stream? And I told people there was no place to hide this season. No place to hide. Zero. Because we're going to have to see. The manager's going to have to manage this season. The players are going to have to stay healthy. I keep telling you all, Declan Rice, let me tell y'all something. If Declan Rice go down at any point this season, we are in major trouble. There are a few players this year that cannot go down. One is already out of there. That's Magalhaes. You cannot have Saliba go down. You almost can't have Timber Calafiore go down because they're on such good form. Trossard is in hella good form right now. Can't have for him to go down. If Declan Rice goes down, Saka goes down. Shh. You better start looking around. We have got a lot of variables at play right now. This season is just getting started. Now we get a victory against Bayern Munich and Chelsea. Hey, you can start feeling like we can maybe challenge. See, this is what's not being said. People are going directly to title winning instead of going, hey, I think we can challenge. There's a difference in the two. Challenge means that, yeah, we can have a seat at the table. But to say that right now, based off of what I've just showed you all, and looked at the numbers and all of the factors there, and then we go back over to this form table, and you see these teams, the form that some of these teams are in. I mean, we all saw how destitute some of these teams were when the season started. Chelsea, Aston Villa, West Ham. I mean, you got to start looking at this thing here and start going, well, it's a long way to go. And that's what it is. It's a long way to go. It's a long way to go. And we hadn't even got to FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and other Champions League fixtures. Sunderland again. Brentford. Spurs. And you can best believe, let me tell y'all something. I know we beat Spurs, beat the hell out of them this Sunday. Let me tell you something. They're not, trust, believe you me, regardless of where they at, when we play them next time, they're going to be ready to play next time. They're going to be playing for pride next go round. So that won't be as easy as what we got, you know. The point still can't be dropped. Remember I said we dropped 3, everybody else picks up 3. It starts to get crowded again. And you just look through this. Then you go to the final stretch of the season here. We go to April. Massive game. Where? At Etihad. April 18th. This is when your hands get wet. Ass gets a little, you start squeaky bums. You know, you start getting a little nervous. 18th. 25th. You got Newcastle there. City there. Remember I told you all, other teams could very well take points off of us that allow everybody else to get back involved. Even Bournemouth here. We all remember West Ham a couple of years ago. Fulham, it's West Ham again. Look at banana peels here. You got Fulham, West Ham, Burnley, Palace, Coming down the stretch. There's a lot of meat on the bone here, ladies and gentlemen. So to be talking about a title right now, like I said, what's the word, ladies and gentlemen? We need to be talking about consistency. The same way we're winning games, we have to find a way to keep winning games. Consistency. Consistency is key. And people have got to understand that the league is not won. The league is not won in November. History, ladies and gentlemen, you know I'm big into history. Big into history. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. 7 Premier League title collapses to rival Arsenal in 2023. Because people will tell you, they will say that, oh, if we're this many points away, it doesn't matter. If we're this many points away, it doesn't matter. If we're this many points, they'll never catch us. If it's this many points, that won't happen. If it's this many points, if it's that many, consistency is key. Key. Until someone is mathematically unable to win, we ain't won anything yet. This little measly 6 points and 7 points we got, this is measly. It's chicken change. It's chicken change, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go through a trip down memory lane. Let's go down and take a trip down memory lane. Some of this is going to be painful for some of us because it's going to bring back memories. It's going to bring back some pain. But you have to learn from that pain. Remember, I told you have to go back and look at history, because history, you can prevent problems when you go back and look through history. Here we go. Arsenal, 2007, 2008. We remember this season. For those that was around during this season, we were cooking. Put a 1 in the chat if you remember this season. We was cooking this season. We were rolling. You remember this? Y'all remember this? Y'all remember this right here? 2007, 2008 Arsenal. Fun fact, I just question. I just want to throw this out there, y'all. I just want to throw this out there because people like to go. I've even heard people say this is one of the best Arsenal teams of all time. Does this Arsenal team beat the 2007, 2008 team? Yes, no. Does this team beat the this current team beat the 2007, 2008 Arsenal team? See, if the real ones gonna know. Real ones will know. Without even me have to even answer that myself, you'll already know. Because when you look at that team, and like I said, you go back through that season, it was absolutely champagne football. Absolute champagne football on all fronts. I mean, it was just like, bro, it was just like going to a theater. Just sitting down watching, Shakespeare, just poetry in motion. I mean, was absolutely cooking. And this was coming off the back of moving into Highbury. Not moving to Highbury, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, moving to the Emirates. Moving from Highbury to the Emirates. TT he had left out of here. It was a transition. It was call it a rebuild. I just want to throw that out there. That was a quote unquote rebuild. Eduardo came in. Ukraine. I can't think of the damn name of the team. I got the colors orange and black. I got the colors in my head. I can't think of the name of the team. Shakhtar. Was it Shakhtar Donetsk? Came from Shakhtar, if I can remember. I think we paid peanuts. I think we paid peanuts for him. I think it was 12 million. Dynamo Zagreb. Thank you. That's what it was. Dynamo Zagreb. Yep, that's it. Dynamo Zagreb. Yep, that's what it was. Because Wenger scouted them during the when we played them in the Champions League. I think the year before, and he caught his eye. Came in. Nobody really know who he was. We didn't expect anything. You know, it was kind of like, okay, well, who is this guy? TT's leaving, but who? You know, what is he gonna do? He comes in. He hits the ground running. He's on fire. He's on fire, and anybody that remember knows what I'm telling the truth. He was on fire. If he was in front of goal, book it. It's a goal. Goal. If Eduardo was in front of goal, it was a goal. No questions asked. You had Cesc, you had Gleb. Everybody was all cooking. Everybody was cooking. Everybody else was cooking. He was cooking, man. He was cooking, man. Everybody was cooking. Then what happens? Broken ankle. Wenger doesn't go make any signings in January. We all remember how it goes. What happens? We will fight. We collapsed. Birmingham City. Arsenal proceeded to drop 6 of their next 7 matches and fell completely away. Do I need to read that again? Because see, people are looking at this. Right now, they're saying right now in November, they're saying, oh well, this is book it. It's over. In 2007, 2008, Arsene Wenger's side, we're going to read this. Arsene Wenger's side had lost 1 of their first 26 matches and seemed to be building a real head of steam in February. They built a 5-point lead at the top after winning 4 successive matches and going on a run where they took 26 points from their last 30 available. Are y'all listening to this? Are you all listening to this? They then went to St. Andrews, Birmingham City, and were reduced to 10 men after Martin Tyler broke Eduardo's leg in the 3rd minute, which is still one of the worst injuries I've ever seen. Arsenal had the man advantage, but seemed shaken psychologically and contrived to draw 2-2 in the equalizing injury time. Completely, that game was absolutely. That was one of the craziest injuries I've ever seen to this day. To this day. Arsenal proceeded to drop points in 6 of their next 7. Did y'all hear that? Drop points in 6 to 7 matches and fell away completely. And as it states here, you can pinpoint to that afternoon in Birmingham City where it all went wrong. It doesn't take much. All it takes, I say it again, you got to stay consistent, stay healthy, one game at a time. It's not sexy by any stretch of the imagination. It's not sexy at all. But that's just the way it has to be. That's the way it has to be this season. One game at a time, 1 week at a time. Too many of our fans have not learned from what we've seen throughout history when it comes to this football club. All it takes is one massive injury. I say it again. If something happens to Declan Rice this season, Ask yourself, do you think Norgard is ready to take the mountain and go all the way? Do you think Marino can go to defensive midfielder? And we count on him down there? Surely you look at Zubamendi and you have to think right now. You think Zubamendi's cut out the go, the long stretch with this team? It's the main man to replace Declan Rice if something happens. The lads have got to stay locked in. The manager, Arteta, he has to stay locked in. It doesn't take much. Watch this. Y'all come with me. Throwback. Norwich City. See, people, it's history here. Norwich City, 1992, 93, 8 points. Reigning champions, Leeds United. Yes, for the youngsters. Reigning champions, Leeds United. People forget. Leeds was a powerhouse. Didn't win away all season to finish 2 points clear of the relegation zone. Arsenal and Chelsea ended up 10th and 11th, respectively. Aston Villa had finished second, while Norwich City, Blackburn Rovers, who was cooking back then, Queen's Park Rangers made up the rest of the top five. Sir Alex Ferguson led Manchester United to their first league title since 1967. It's crazy when you go back and look at this. It is crazy. What was that? What was I reading? I lost my spot here. Okay. Ferguson's side ended up finishing a comfortable 10 points clear, but they looked out of the title picture in the early months of the season. They sat 10th in early November. Stop right there. Oh, wait, Matt. What you stop for, Matt? What did you stop? I'm gonna read it again. I'm gonna read it again. Ferguson's side ended up finishing a comfortable 10 points clear, but they looked outside of the title picture in the early months of the season. They sat 10th in early November after a 7-match winless run. Oh, well, who does that sound like, ladies and gentlemen? Who does that sound like right now? Put the team in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, if you know what I'm talking about. What team does that sound like right now? I'm going to let that sink in while I get me some more water. Y'all sit there, y'all talk about it. I'm getting some water. I'll be right back. I'm doing the league gun. I'll be right back. Y'all put the team in there. Put the team in there. Put the team in there. Because see, people want to play around and they'll say this team is out of it. This team is destitute. This team ain't winning anything. This team is not doing anything. This team is not a factor. This team is in turmoil. This team is nowhere near. They're out of it. Not even close. Oh, who? Oh, Liverpool. Don't believe me? Let's go over here. Let's go over here. Let's go over here. Where's my table at? We'll do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, Manchester United at 10. Everton, Liverpool. Right there. This is why I tell people all the time, you have to be a student of history. Most of the fan base don't even remember this stuff. So they'll just say stuff. They'll go, oh, man, it's over. There's no way it can happen. There's no way this is impossible. It's happened time and time again. How many times does it take for people to say you don't win the title in November? You can lose it. You can definitely blow it away, but you ain't winning no title in November. You can throw yourself out of the competition, completely out of it. There's always a team, as long as I've been watching Premier League football, there's always a team that comes out of nowhere the second half of the season that goes on an absolute tear. Absolute tear. They're winning. You're looking at this like, well, how the hell are they winning these games? How are they getting there? How did this happen? When me and Kenny sat on the Real Talk podcast, it's either last year or either early this year, and we said we need a 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 game run we need to be winning 15 to 20 games in a row. People think we're crazy. Oh man, that's crazy. No, you have to do that. You've got to go on those kind of runs. You've got to be ripping it up. It's just like an old car. Once you get that old car and you got it going, you got it rolling good, and you put it out on the motorway, interstate, what have you, you just let it cruise. It's in cruise control. You're just chilling. You're just enjoying the ride. Anybody ever rode in an old Cadillac or Lincoln, one of those big body Mercedes, big body Benzes, especially the big body Benzes and Mercedes? You know how you just rolling? An old Jag, you just rolling. You chilling. That's what we got to do. You got to be in cruise control. You got to be winning and winning and winning and winning and winning. Because it's not safe where you are. Right here. I'll say it again. For those who just joined us, shout out to everybody who just joined. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Ferguson side ended up finishing a comfortable 10 points clear. But they looked out of the title picture in the early months of the season. They sat in 10th in early November after a 7-match winless run. 7 matches. Sir Alex Ferguson, the GOAT. Meanwhile, Norwich had built up an 8-point lead. Oh, who does that sound like? Who does that sound like, ladies and gentlemen? Who does that sound like, ladies and gentlemen? What team? Who do we know who's done that? Who do we know has built up an 8-point lead? We've been here before. We've been that team. 8 points clear. This is why I entitled this Arsenal Math. Look at the numbers. 10, they were in 10th place. They were in 10th. You look over there, you say, oh man, this team ain't doing nothing. And this was back in the day when Manchester United was just a little bit more rougher than what it is now. A little bit more rougher than what it is. So you can only imagine how they were feeling at the Old Trafford. 10th place back then. I want y'all to read this. You know what? I like when I saw this article. There was something that I saw, and I said, you know what? I love this. This is probably one of the best articles I found in a while on this right here. And I want y'all to see what's in the caps there, the small caps here. And it was done on purpose. This is why I tell people, regardless of what Manchester United going through right now, Liverpool is going through right now, City. It don't take much. It doesn't take much. I'm telling y'all now, it doesn't take a whole lot. Because that year, the signing of Eric Cantona is when the moment everything changed. That kick-started that damn dynasty we had to deal with. One signing. And guess what happened? They went on a damn tear. This is why I said, do not count Liverpool out of this. Don't count Chelsea out of this. Man City could get reinforcements. Hell, even Newcastle will probably could get some reinforcements. It doesn't take much for our fortunes to change. Y'all let that sink in. We're gonna go to 2002, 2003. I remember this just like it was yesterday. I remember this one. Throw it away. I remember this one. Wenger never led Arsenal to successive league titles, but they look destined to retain their title in 2002, 2003. People forget about that team. It's cooking. Watch this. Watch this. For those who remember, that's why I say it's gonna be some pain here. It's gonna be some old memories conjured, some old demons. By March, they built up an 8-point lead over Manchester United. Y'all remember that United team? That was prime Manchester United. Shit, it was cooking. But they fell apart in the spring. How many times have y'all heard me sit on shows, on panel, and I always say, what month? What do I always say? March and April. Why? Because that's when Wenger used to have his most problems. Historically, it was March and April. Was when we have. Do you know how many times we run into a damn Bolton out of nowhere, cost us trouble. Fulham cost us trouble. These random teams, Wigan, these random teams out of nowhere cost us problems. And it's usually in the spring. Southampton a couple years ago, when did it happen? In the spring. West Ham, when did it happen? In the spring. Aston Villa last year, when did it happen? In the spring. City a couple of years back, when did that happen? In the spring. Played them in February in the Cup, played at the beginning of the season. What happened? Blew it. By March, they built up an 8-point lead over United, and all looked set. But they fell apart in the spring. Watch this, winning 4 of their last 9 matches. Let me say this again. 4 of their last 9 matches. Y'all remember that? Fell apart coming down the stretch. And that damn loss to Leeds still haunts us to this day. To Leeds, on the way out, Leeds said, "We're gonna give y'all, we're gonna just tear up y'all shit, tear up y'all couch, and we're gonna just leave. We're gonna run a knife right over your couch, and then we're leaving out your house. Not seen for over 20 years. But guess what they did? Cost us the damn title. We blew it. To who? Relegation. Oh, relegation thread? Yeah, relegation thread. Remember I told y'all, I said Wolves? Remember I said about Wolves about 30 minutes ago? 45 minutes ago? I said something about Wolves. I said, hey, man, on paper, that's a gimme. But what I just tell y'all, these relegation teams, what happened? They're coming to play. They're going to be playing for pride, regardless of what their situation is. Watch this. Watch this, ladies and gentlemen. Ferguson's Red Devils won 15 of their final 18 matches and ended up finishing 5 points clear. They were on a roll. What did I tell you all? Somebody is going to go on a roll the second half of the season. Who, I can't tell you, but I can tell you history has shown there's a team that's somewhere that's going to go on a roll. Aston Villa is on a roll right now. They're currently on a roll. They're right lock in step with us. Doesn't look like in the table. And this is what a lot of our fans do, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of our fans will look at this table. They'll look right here at this table. And they'll go, oh, well, there's nothing to fear. I've heard people say, no one frightens me. No one scares me. There's nobody, there's nobody, there's nobody, there's nobody, there's nobody. But I've just went over with you all with history. We've got right here, we've got 15 of 18. We've got, what was it, 26? I had to find it. I can't remember what the number, but you hear all these numbers. This is why I call it Arsenal math. The numbers don't lie. Historically, we go back through this. We've seen it over and over and over and over and over and over and over. We've seen it. We've seen it over and over and over. 2011, 2012. We remember this season. Remember this. One of the greatest endings to a season ever. United recovered well from their ego bruising 6-1 defeat to Man City in October of 2011. They were imperious through the winter, winning 20 of 24 matches after the City defeat. 20 of 24. Yeah, I remember that's when City came into the money. Man, this was the year. They had splashed the cash. They had a solid team. United was getting it together. Watch this now. They were imperious through the winter, winning 20 of 24 matches after the City defeat opened up a what? 8-point lead as Mancini's side faltered mid-season. They were getting ready to sack him. Y'all remember that? They was getting ready to sack him. There was sack talks coming. His ass was on the hot seat. I remember that. Everywhere you turn, they were talking about sacking this manager. Does he survive? Does he survive? Does he survive? Anybody remember that? If you remember that, put a 1 in the chat. Because they spent all that money, and they were like, hey, man, we need to win this title. We need to win this title. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Abajit. You're right. They signed everybody from over there. That was basically our team over there. And they were talking about sacking that man. Mid-season. And what happened? What happened? A surprise 1-0 defeat to Wigan Athletic saw the title picture open up. Hey, what kind of defeat, y'all? A surprise. Aha! You know, Wigan. Y'all remember Wigan, don't you? Old lowly Wigan. Old lowly Wigan. I used to call him Baby Boy Wigan. Old Baby Boy Wigan. Y'all remember them? Little Wigan? 1-0 defeat to Wigan and a win in April. Oh, that's the spring, right? I just want to throw that out there. So the title picture opened up and it was suddenly wide open after 2 further drop points in an 8-goal thriller to Everton. Remember that one? Moise. Arteta was in there. Arteta was in that game, if I'm not mistaken. The 4-4 draw against David Moyes' Toffees meant that the league title was where? Back in City's hands. See, this is what I keep telling folk. People like, oh, man, we so far ahead. Oh, man, there's nothing. Oh, we'll show y'all history now. I'm showing you all history. We're going through this tonight. Shout out to my ladies and gentlemen that's across the pond. It's up late tonight. I know y'all up late burning the midnight oil. Appreciate y'all for hanging in there with me, man. Make sure y'all hit that like, share, and subscribe. Mancini's got the job done, lifting the trophy after winning their last 6 outings. Last 6. Remember, I told y'all there's 6. That's another number. Some more numbers. Including the 1-0 victory over United at the Etihad. Y'all remember that? That was in the spring. That was late that year. And that madcap against QPR on the final day. We all remember that. But y'all remember that 1-0? Y'all remember that 1-0 victory? I can't remember who scored in that game. But it was a major, because at that point, City was still trying to get over the hump of dealing with Manchester United. because they, this is when they were going at it heavy. The money was spent, noisy neighbors, all that stuff. You remember that? Everybody remember that? It's just a company was there. They were getting it together, and then wham, wham. Yep. And all hell broke loose. And that was in 2011. Shout out to my brother. Owe you a phone call too, Kyle. I owe you a phone call. We need to catch up, brother. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Much love. Definitely I owe you and Warren a phone call. I've got to catch up with y'all. Liverpool. Oh shit. I forgot about this. Liverpool. 2018, 2019. Y'all remember that team? Luis Suarez was 10 shit up. You hear me? They were cooking. I mean, it was just like a buzzsaw. I just remember how quick they used to put teams to the sword back then. It was just like, whoop, it's over. Game is over. Before you didn't get started, the game was over. Yeah, he was on demon time. He was completely on demon time. In fairness, Liverpool, they really didn't do much wrong in 2018. Their final points tally of 97 has only ever been bettered by 3 teams, one of whom happened to be Pep's Man City with 98 points as a 2-1 defeat. Excuse me. That's the 2018 team. I'm thinking about was Suarez on that team? I'll get my Liverpool teams confused because they were so good during that period. They had that period where they couldn't win anything, but they had a good team. I'm trying to remember, was Suarez on the 18 team? Chat. Was he on that? Am I right? Was he on that team? Because I can't remember now. Because it was so close to when before. I'm trying to think who was on that 2018 team. He wasn't on that team. But that was the year. What you call that? That was the slip year, 2014. That was the slip though. Was that the slip? No, that's the one that was the Palace, right? That's the year they lost the Palace. Was that the year? Was that the year they lost the Palace, or was that a couple of years before that? For me, okay, solid. So was that the Gerrard slip year? Was that the slip, chat? Because I remember the one when Liverpool. Okay, 2014 was the year Salah was on the team, and that was that the slip? I'm getting my years confused now. Remember the slip? Then I remember Palace. Y'all remember the Crystal Palace one when they lost to Crystal Palace and he was crying and rolling over? Was that the same year? I can't remember right offhand. But I remember Liverpool was always so close. And they had the points, everything be lined up, and it looked like they was getting ready to do something. And then whoosh. I know y'all will correct me in the chat, but y'all all know where I'm going with this. A 2-1 defeat to eventual champion in 2019 proved decisive. They went unbeaten, otherwise that season, winning 13 of their last 17, but draws, listen to this, draws against Leicester, West Ham, Manchester United, and Everton in January and February was enough to cost them. Let me read that again. No, Salah and Stevie J. Salah and them never played together. That I do know. They never played together. But I'm trying to remember what year that was. He slipped. And then that other year they were close. This must be the year I'm thinking about here. This must be the Klopp year. I knew they were close again. I can't remember what year it is. It all kind of runs together once you get to the late 20s, the late 2010. Because you know why I didn't give a damn about it? Because we were out of it anyway. So I really wasn't even. I was watching the games, but I didn't give a damn. Let's put it like that. Because we were blown so far out of shit. I was just like, Oh, Brendan. Yeah, this was the one. That was the year that pushed him over the edge to get rid of him to bring in Klopp. Yeah. Let me read this again. They went unbeaten. Otherwise, that season, winning 13 of the last 17. But watch this. Let's go with me here. These numbers again. Here go more numbers. Here go more numbers. 13 of their last 17, but draws against Leicester. Y'all count with me. 1, West Ham 2, Manchester United 3, and Everton 4. Win in January and February were enough to cost them. So 4 draws. 4 draws swung the trophy. And you got people sitting on panels, they're saying, I'd rather take a draw. What? We got to get 3 points. I'd rather take a draw here. We got to find wins. Because everything I've showed you so far tonight shows you these teams are going on these crazy runs to win the title. And they're going on late runs. And teams that falter at some point, that have lost this title, have lost it either they've dropped the game here, a game swung the season. You remember you know, let me throw this out there. You know, a lot of times when you watch these shows, you watch these panel shows, and what are one of the things that you hear? You'll hear somebody go, they'll say, well, you know, the loss to City earlier this year. Oh man, what are you going on about? It's just one loss. It's one loss. One loss. Okay. Where is it at here? We go back. Where is it at? A surprise 1-0 defeat to Wigan in April saw the title picture open up, and it was suddenly wide open. This is why I say consistency is key. Consistency is key. When you're in the thick of a title picture, a title run, when you're in that discussion, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you're in that battle, and everybody's within touching distance, I'm talking 2 points, 3 points, 4 points, 5 points, 6 points, 7 points, 8 points. And as we've seen here, 9, 10, 11. There's still an opportunity there for things to go. Doesn't take much. It does not take much. Let's keep going. Manchester United, 97, 98, 11 points. Aside from the Charity Shield, United went trophyless in 97, 98. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all remember this? This was anybody remember the infamous? Yeah, that was that year. That was unthinkable in the spring. When they had an 11-point lead over Arsenal. Y'all remember that? We ran them down that year. Ran them down. We stalked them like a cheetah. We stalked them. Y'all ever watch those old National Geographic videos and you watch the cheetah, you know, getting this prey, sitting in there. Every time the animal turn around, it look, nothing's there, but then it look up and then the cat creeps a little bit closer. That's what we did that year. We ran them down. Slow walk them, as we say. Slow. We say down here in the South, slow roll it. Slow roll it. Yeah, that was it. Before you knew it, we were right on top of them. And where did we win the title at? Anybody remember it? Does anybody remember where we won the title at that year? We had to go where? That's why I said you got to win these games on the road. Went down to Old Trafford. Went down to Old Trafford. Watch this, y'all. Watch this. But Arsenal had 3 games where in hand. 3 games in hand and did brilliantly to make them count. The Gunners won their last 8 matches and turned the title picture on its head with an unforgettable 1-0 victory at Old Trafford in mid-March. That's the spring again. What did I tell y'all earlier? I said the spring. You see these numbers. Arsenal had what? 3 games in hand. 8 of their last won their last 8 matches. How many times have you seen that happen tonight? I've read this out to y'all. We're going through these years. And you've seen a team win 8 here, 13 there, 26 or whatever it was. You see all these these runs teams go on. Right? What I told y'all now, did I tell y'all? I said there's a team right now on that table outside of us that's going to go on some kind of crazy run. And we won't know it until we look up and that's it right there where we are. And this is what people, the way people are moving with the team right now. They're moving with the team and they're thinking that no one else is going to replicate or do what we've done. They're looking and they're saying there's no team anywhere in the Premier League this year that's going to go on any kind of run. That's what everybody's looking at. They'll say, "Oh, this is there's no quality, there's no nothing." Remember, I told y'all we'll go up a little higher here. Leave this here so I don't forget where I am. Liverpool, I know where I'm at now. Where was it at here? Right here. Right here. See, when the older heads like JB and JS, Kenny, some of the older heads, and they tell y'all they've seen stuff, they've seen it. Ferguson, I read it out to y'all again. This is why I had to go back through this. Ferguson's side ended up finishing a comfortable 10 points clear, but they looked out of the title picture in the early months of the season. They sat in 10th in early November. And after a 7-match winless run, Norwich had built up an 8-point lead before failing to maintain their form in the latter half of the season. They were in 10th. Manchester United is in 10th now. Liverpool's in 13th or 12th. People are saying they're out of it. You even got their own fans saying that we're out of it. They're nowhere near out of the title picture. All they've got to do is go on a run. This is why I keep saying long way from being over. Long way from being over. Here's another one. Probably one of the worst outside of ours. I think ours is up there with being one of the worst, but this is probably the worst. I love it if we beat them. Y'all remember that? This is when I started watching the Premier League with 95. It was crazy. Kevin Keegan's Entertainers are arguably the most memorable Premier League side not to win the title. They had a 12-point lead over Manchester United, but things fell apart dramatically with a run of 5 defeats in 8 games in March. What is the reoccurring theme that I keep showing you all in every last one of these stories? I'm going to zoom in. We're going to zoom in right quick. What is the reoccurring theme that I'm showing you all here tonight? Every team that has come back, they have found a way, or the team that's thrown it away has thrown it away when? In the spring. When did I tell you all to start talking about a title? February, March, April. They're talking about it in November. But what happened when Norwich was thinking about November? Oh, Manchester United was in 10th. And what happened? They turned around, turned it all the way around and won by 10 points. People act like this has never been, like a team has never done this before. Well, one team has been way out in front and then found a way to, and another team comes out of nowhere. And I keep telling people this because I've seen it. Teams go on these wild runs. They're wild runs. And before you know it, they're sitting there knocking on your door. Hey, how you doing? What's up, pal? It is way too early to be talking about a title. If you want to talk about something, let's get everybody involved. If you want to talk about something, put a 1 in. I'll tell y'all exactly what you need to be talking about right now. If you want to talk about something, right now, put a 1 in the chat and I'll tell you exactly what you can talk about. People don't want to talk about it, but I'll tell you what you can talk about. I'll tell you what you need to be talking about. I'll tell you what needs to be at the top of your priority right now. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to hear it. If you want to hear it from me, I'll tell you what you need to be talking about. I will. If you want me to tell you. Now, if you don't want me to tell you, tell y'all, don't put nothing in there. But if you want me to tell you what you need to be talking about, a 1 in the chat, please. Put a 1 in the chat, and I'll tell you what you want to know. I'll tell you something you can go to the water cooler. I'll tell you what you can talk to your coworkers about at work. That's Arsenal fans. I'll tell you when you go to the bar, to the pub this weekend, I'll tell you what you want to talk about. Put it in there. Put a 1 in there. Put a 1 in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Let me pull it up here. I'm going to show you better than I can tell you. I'm going to show you better than I can tell you what you need to be talking about. Because these folk, people don't want to hear it, but it is what it is. I'll show you. I see some ones coming in. Kyle, you ready for it, brother? Are you ready for it, brother Kyle? I'm going to show it to you. This is what you need to be talking about right here. That's what you need to be talking about right here. This is what needs to be at the tip right here. An opportunity to get some silverware that you are definitely in for. Right here. Right now. Right there. You see this, ladies and gentlemen? People, do you see this right here? They talk about winning league right now in November. No. We need to be talking about this right here. Right there. Right there. Do y'all agree with me? Because this is an opportunity here to win some silverware. People, too many of our fans throw opportunities away like this. They throw too many opportunities like this away. And then they say, oh, well, we got to win this. There's a chance for you to win this. The players need a platform to leap off of. These players need a platform to leap off of. These fixtures are coming. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. I've never seen us lift this trophy. I've never seen this. But at the same time, guess what? None of these players have seen us lift this trophy. So when people say, oh, it's just the League Cup, it doesn't mean anything. Yes, it should. These players have never lifted that trophy. Some of these players would have never been first team players to lift a trophy. They need this in their life. This club needs this trophy. This is what you call a pace setter, ladies and gentlemen. You ever watch racing and you see that one car that this sets the pace before he turns off and before everybody. This is the pace setter. The objective of modern sport, objective of sport in general, is to win. This is an opportunity to win. No matter how big, how small, whatever you want to say the trophy is, this is an opportunity to have concrete success, regardless of what happens in the Premier League this year. So when you hear someone say, "Oh man, the league," now you say, "Whoa, we're not even worried about the league." Hey, we got Carabao Cup to worry about. The league is a long way from being done, and I've shown you all that tonight. I've shown you that we went through all those stories, all those scenarios. If you just joined to go back, rewind it, make sure you catch it on rewind. But I've showed you all. The title right now is out of discussion. Hey, you think we'll win the title? Check back with me in February, March. Check back with me, preferably mid-March. And I can have a better idea about what we're doing and how we're looking. Because there's going to come a point here this season where we're going to go on a run and we got to hurry up. We're going to drop points, but we got to hurry up and gain points. So anytime you see us drop points like we did against Sunderland, we better be winning the next game. Or the next 3. You drop one, you better win 3. Until then, right now, this is what we need to be concerned about right here, this Carabao Cup. Because this is a concrete opportunity here to win trophies, to win silverware. And I feel like there's a chance for us to win this year. Regardless of what anybody thinks. I feel like there's an opportunity here with the team that we have, with some of the talent that we have this year. We should be right there, trying to at least win this year. And Ray is 100% correct right here. Ray is 100% correct. Squad rotation and tactics are going to be tested. And that's why when I opened up the show, I said consistency, health, and maintaining a winning record is going to be critical this year. And all of this, what he's just put down here, is what is going to play into it. One more thing here before we get ready to head out of here. I'm going to show y'all something else too. If I can find it here. Because we're here, we deal with fact-based metrics over here. Let me get my screen back up here. Get my screen back up here. There we go. All right, that one. I want the other one. Y'all bear with me here. Let me get myself sorted. Get myself sorted here so I can get this right over to y'all. Bang. There we go. Close that out. Bring that here. And then here we go. We are cooking. Here we go. There's a matter of a team that we've got to deal with. Whether people don't want to hear this, but the reality of the matter is there's been a thorn in our side for a very, 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 very long time. Yes, I hope you're still in the chat, man. Hope you're still in the chat, brother. We're going to start from 03 to 2013. We're going to start from here. What do we notice here? 2003. Who was there? 2004. Who's there? 2005. Who's there? Watch this. 2006. Who's there? 2007. 2008. 2009. 2010. Y'all see this? Look at this. They're always around, regardless of what they look like. They're always there. Watch this. 2014, they're there. 2015, Wenger, I'm still pissed off with you about that, Wenger. I love you, but I'm still pissed off about that. Then we go 2016. Look who's there. 2017. Oh, look. Above us. Look at it. They're there. They're still hanging around there. 2018. Oh, wait, look. 2019. Who's there? Who's there? 2020. Who's hanging around? 21. Who's hanging around? Who's hanging around? 22, 23, total. They're trying to get themselves sorted out. They say, no, we'll bounce back. Where they at? They're still hanging around. And then we go to last year. Oh, they're there. And currently, where are they at? Right there. They're not going anywhere. History has shown us they're going to be hanging around. What has history? See, I told y'all, you got to learn how to be a student of history. Chelsea is always hanging around. And for us older heads, you damn sure better not run into them in a cup competition late in the year, because you know what happens there. We've been for us old heads, we know what it is to deal with them in a cup competition late in the year. This is what you need to be on the lookout for. Stop writing off these teams because of where they are in the table or what they look like in the past few years. Historically, these are teams that are usually in and around the title hunt and picture. This is why that game on Saturday is a massive game. Massive, because if we drop that game, they're right there. Remember I told you, people start showing up to the party. You don't know how they got there. Who invited them? They invited themselves. This is why that game this weekend is ultra critical. I'm thinking we'll win. I'm hoping we'll win. Remains to be seen. But as I stated, as far as this title picture goes, don't talk about that title picture until February, March. We shouldn't even be asking those questions. Do you think we'll win it? This not even up for debate right now. Check back with me in February, March. Told y'all I'm a realist. It is what it is. The main important thing right now is this Carabao Cup. We need a trophy. We need to kickstart this season with a trophy. We need to be talking about going to Wembley. She wore a yellow ribbon. That's what we talking about right now. You going to Wembley, getting a trophy. At the very top of the we need to be talking about this Carabao Cup. That needs to be on every Arsenal fan's lips. Yeah, we need to be winning this Carabao Cup. Well, is that more important than the league? No, it comes before the league. Because I'm being a fact. The trophy, the final is played before the league has even thought about being won. FA Cup's there as well. I mean, you want to start getting some pad now because City and Chelsea, they starting to pick up a bunch of numbers. United, they're still right there. We want to try to get a little bit more padding on that because I kind of like it saying we've won it the most. So we have got to taper what we are right now and just say, hey, we're playing good football. We're playing good football. We're beating teams, and we're looking good. That's how it should go. All of this talk about we nobody in Europe is beating us, nobody's doing this and nobody's doing that. And man, it's early days. It is early days, and I've shown you all tonight. Several scenarios where teams were way out in front and they end up getting pipped. Even with this Champions League, we look great. Massive game tomorrow. Once this league phase is over with, everyone's back at zero. Once this phase is over with, we're back to zero in the Champions League. It starts over. We saw Liverpool last year. Liverpool did all that work last year, and what happened? Who showed up? Team out of nowhere. Where were PSG scraping to get into the Champions League knockout stages? What happened? What did they do? Win it. What happened? They went on a crazy run. But I told y'all about these runs. These teams that come on late season runs. I've told you that over and over and over tonight. These teams go on late runs and then they raise hell. And they're unstoppable. Nobody could stop PSG last year. Nobody could stop them. Especially when they was on that run. Nobody could stop them. There's going to be teams, whether it's in the Champions League or in the Premier League, that are going to go on runs and they're going to pop up. And all I can tell you all is we got to remain what? Consistent, stay healthy, and win games. And we get to February, March, April, we'll look, and then we'll be able to look, and then we'll say, okay, cool. We think we can win this trophy, man. But to be where we are right now, and I've just showed you 10 people was in 10th, people was in 11 points behind, 12 points behind. And they still was chopping them up. A draw here, a loss there, and all hell broke loose. Seasons was changed in the blink of an eye, just like that. Let's just taper it back. Let's just kind of ease it back. If we beat Chelsea this weekend, it'd be a great victory. We beat Bayern Munich tomorrow, it'd be great. We need that. Like I said, we need a victory over Bayern Munich. That'd be great. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. This is a very, very long season. We look good. We look competent. If it's one word I can say, we look competent this year. We still got a few problem areas, but that's what you got to work on throughout the season. But before we talk about winning trophies and stuff, winning titles, no. Carabao Cup, yeah, that's up to play. We need to be talking about winning that. That's there. That's there. That is there. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you enjoyed tonight's late night discussion. Arsenal math. I hope to know everything, these numbers. Just keep these numbers in your head. 3 points here, 3 games here, 3 games here. 11 points here, 12 points here. The season is a long way from being done. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's a marathon. And the quicker people understand this, you'll be at peace. And you'll be able to just sit back and go, okay, well, let's see how it plays out. That doesn't mean you're being negative. Let's just see how it plays out. Because regardless of the fact, the manager has to deliver this year. He's put himself in that situation where he has to deliver. And even for the tippity of the top, they've all said he has to win a major. I've said Carabao Cup. It's a trophy. Because I firmly believe that if we can win a trophy like the Carabao Cup, I think that could open up the floodgates. I honestly believe that. Because if you go back through history, and I don't have this prepared for you right now, but if you go back and look at Liverpool, you look at Man City, you can go look at Chelsea, and even Manchester United. Look at all these teams. They've all kickstarted success with what? League trophies. With the league cups. The League Cup is an important trophy as a foundation for success. The FA Cup is a great trophy for foundation. which is why a lot of us wanted us to win those FA Cups and League Cups over the last few years, because we've done once. Go do it again. Once you do it again with your own team, these youngsters can believe. Saka, Martinelli, Skelly, Eze, all these guys need to be able to. Well, Eze's got one already, but these guys need to be able to see some trophies, because mentally it's going to start wearing on them. If we get knocked out this Carabao Cup, I'm going to start thinking about the second guessing. They're going to start having those same thoughts again. We have got to find a way to find success this season. And it's going to be a thing where we're going to have to be patient. And a lot of our fan base is having a hard time doing that right now. Everybody wants to win the title. They're so anxious to win it. But it takes time. It takes time. It takes time. It's a culmination. And that's the best part about sport, is you're not going to get it right out the gate. Very rarely does a team just come out and just run roughshod over the entire league. 100-point season has been done how many times? Doesn't happen like that. How many times have a team gone undefeated in the Premier League? Doesn't happen like that too often. Those things happen every so often. For the most part, you're going to have to work, and you're going to have to stay in there. And this is what we've seen year in, year out with Premier League. Takes time. It takes time, and people are going to have to realize that. So, with that, I'm Matt the Southern Gooner. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed yourselves tonight. We'll be back at some point this week. We'll be there this weekend for the Bayern Munich game tomorrow night with Lee. So make sure you come join us tomorrow. We'll be over there for the watch along. We'll be back for the watch along this weekend with Chelsea on Sunday. And hope I'll probably be on a panel or two here or there. And hope that you enjoyed this. Once again, if you have not subscribed, make sure that you do so. On the road to 5K. We're almost there. Make sure y'all hit that so we can get across that big line. And we'll be back. We'll be back again with another one soon. So hope that you enjoyed this. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Good peeps. Much love. Everybody across over here. Happy Thanksgiving. Those across the pond. Hope you have a wonderful morning. Hope you're having a wonderful morning, because I think it's 10, 11, 12. If you're up with me now, you up mighty early. Either you're working or you can't sleep. But I appreciate you being here with me. And for those across out west, you have a good afternoon. I think good afternoon. Well, good evening rather, because it's evening time out there where you are. It's 6 o'clock now. So, all right, with that, everybody, much love. Have a blessed night. Kyle Walsh, I'm gonna get with you, man. We got to link up, man. Peace out.
Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the Southern Gooner here on YouTube.